What's up, guys? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars into the same room, discuss the latest alpha, Bitcoin news, world news, you name it, we're covering it, and kick out the highest frequency vibes. Hope you are having a very, very blessed start to your week. It is now Tuesday. It's been bullish. I think that we're talking about a lot of things that need to be talked about within the space surrounding SIP 31 for stacks, and people are expressing themselves and their concerns and really getting into the know. I'd love to see the community get activated and mobilized in the stacks forum, talking and contributing to the latest draft of SIP 31. It is an interesting day today. Stacks is up 4.37% on the day. It is really doing well. Hit 80 cents today. Bitcoin is back above 105K. We're doing good. I have some bookmarks that I wanted to go over that I thought were interesting. So let me bring up my screen real quick and we can get straight to it, guys. So, from Ian Banksia, GM, to my dear stacks folks, two suggestions come to mind on General Order 31. Speaking of SIP 31, use the Bitcoin from the mining rather than increasing missions. Make the miners pay their share rather than a dilution. Number two, propose a budget and code the budget into a contract, locking the funds up front with a set of people to work as the validators of milestone/delivery. Base take from Ian, and you can follow him at I'm Banksia. Very, very cool take there. Coming from BitcoinNews.com, new American solar energy firm SolarBank Corporation announces plans to adopt Bitcoin as part of its treasury and reserve strategy. Everybody and their mom is adopting Bitcoin. I've said this before, from scientific groups to universities, nation states, you name it, they are hodling and trying to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. And now American solar energy firm SolarBank Corporation is hodling Bitcoin. Very, very cool. Coming from the main Stacks handle, and you can follow that at Stacks. Fortify integrating Stacks has helped multiple large institutions move their BTC to the leading Bitcoin layer 2, a crucial integration that will help onboard even more BTC powerhouses to Stacks. Grateful for the incredible effort of Fortify, and you can follow Fortify at 4DeFi HQ. Very, very cool. And as you can see, they have this infographic here. Fortify integrates with Stacks, all Stacks ecosystem token support, stacking support, DeFi via browser extension, post-condition support, MPC key management. Very, very cool there. And again, from the main Stacks handle, Stacks is the leading real Bitcoin layer in making BTC a productive asset, earning Bitcoin yield. We have more ways than one to earn Bitcoin yield in the Stacks ecosystem, including taking part in the main POX mechanism, locking up 90K STX, running a node to secure native BTC. You can lock STX up, secure the network, and earn native Bitcoin yield. Very, very based. If you don't have 90K STX, don't want to pay any fees, don't want to run a node, go to Stacking DAO. Just use Stacking DAO. You can go participate in one of their stacking pools for their liquid stacking tokens and stay liquid while earning awesome yield, up to 10% APY for SDSDX and SDSDX BTC. Very, very cool stuff there. From STX Watch, and you can follow that at STX Watch. Dog is now the number one meme coin on Stacks based on liquidity, closely followed by Leo Coin. Definitely give follows to Leo Coin. You can follow Leo Coin STX to stay in the know. From the Hermetica camp, and you can follow them at Hermetica5. POV, you discovered a money loop where you long Bitcoin and your collateral pays you back for doing it. Trade on Velar and earn 5% yield on USDH collateral. This is a base strategy. What I'm doing right now is stacking my stacks for SDSDX, going over to Zest, lending it as collateral, borrowing USDH against it, and I have a couple long positions open on the Velar Perptex. And definitely give Velar a follow at Velar BTC. Very, very base building. Base builders build on Bitcoin via stacks. Let's go. They have this awesome little walkthrough here, little cool video showing you how to connect your wallet, your Leather wallet, or your Xverse wallet. Very cool here. Then you can choose up to 5x leverage with your USDH and open a position on BTC or STX. Very, very cool. The SBTC USDH is the pair that they use over there for longing Bitcoin, and STX USDH for the STX pair. Very, very cool. Coming from the Zest Protocol camp, and you can follow them at Zest Protocol. Want to earn yield on all your Stacks assets with one click? Check out this step-by-step tutorial to get started with Zest. And very cool here. If you are wondering how much APY you could be earning on your idle assets that are sitting in your wallet, put them to work with one click on Zest. Very, very cool. Also jumped into the Stacking DAO and Zest Discords. The new activity schedules for the month of June were just released. I put them out yesterday. So we have a bunch of cool activities, including like Pokemon League tournaments, poker tournaments, you name it, content challenges. We've got it going on in the Discord. So join the Discords and stay in the know. Coming from the Stacking DAO camp, and you can follow them at Stacking DAO. Earning 10% APY on STX is straightforward. Just use Stacking DAO. I love this image. Whoever created this image is based. Go to stackingdao.com and put your STX to work for native Bitcoin yield, SBTC yield, and auto compounding STX yield. Very, very cool. Very based. Moving on into the main news from Cointelegraph. Just in, FCA registered BCP Technologies has launched TGBP, a British pound-backed stablecoin on Ethereum, calling it a live proof of concept for future UK stablecoin regulation. Very cool. I love to see more and more stablecoin regulation. It was brought up that maybe the Genius Act might be passed sometime this week. If they do not pass the Genius Bill on this go around, we may just fall behind other countries as far as stablecoin regulation. So very based. I love to see this type of regulation going on in our industry. Just in, Pump.Fund plans a 1 billion token sale at 4 billion valuation as it prepares to launch its own token within the next 2 weeks. Very cool for the Solana guys out there. I know the Solana degens are going hard on Pump Fund. Just in, Kazakhstan has launched a pilot project for crypto cards, allowing licensed exchange users to make fiat payments directly from their digital asset wallets. Cool, cool, cool. Update James Wynn. James Wynn is a prolific whale in the space. He is opening long positions like there is no tomorrow. James Wynn has increased his long position on BTC to over 147 million. Fun fact: last week he was actually partially liquidated on a different long position. This guy is going full port degen and longing Bitcoin with I think it was 40x leverage. I don't know what leverage he is using. Let's see. It'd take a little math there. I don't see any indicators of what type of leverage he's using. I don't feel like math. Oh yeah, 40. Let's see, 45.95x leverage. Wow, 147 million in that position. Latest pro Bitcoin Democratic Party candidate Lee Jae-myung wins South Korea's presidency. Let's go. He is a cryptocurrency friendly or pro Bitcoin Democratic Party leader in South Korea. Cool. Update: Marathon Digital mined 950 BTC in May, up 35%, and now holds 49,179 BTC, with 0 Bitcoin sold during the month. They are hodling on. Marathon Digital, or MARA, the ticker, actually has been running really nicely all year long for the last year or so. So very based. Go check out MARA if you're into Bitcoin mining stocks. Latest: Kraken launches Kraken Prime, an all-in-one platform for institutional investors offering trading, custody, and financing. I like to do most of my trading and stuff on chain, on the Stacks blockchain to be specific. Yeah, I don't use any sexes really. And on the roadmap for Stacks, we actually have sex listings for SIP10 tokens, new stable coins. Very, very base roadmap that we have going on right now. Today, Tether announces strategic investment in Orion X to boost digital asset adoption across Latin America. Ooh, look at that. I got a little boost, a broadcast boost. Let's go, baby. Let's go. So Tether getting integrated into Latin America via Orion X. Very cool. Bullish. Bitcoin treasury firm Metaplanet, ticker MTPLF, becomes Japan's #1 stock by trading value and volume over for the first time ever. Metaplanet has been taking off like a rocket. Very, very cool there. New Binance now holds 59% of all stablecoin reserves. That is 31 billion in USDT and USDC, and leads 2025 inflows with 180 billion per CryptoQuant.com. Wow. Just in, BlackRock deposits 1,249.68 BTC, valued at 131.55 million, into Coinbase, totaling 5,362.37 BTC. Total value at 560.94 million in the last 2 days, while withdrawing 27,241.4 ETH, 69.25 million in valuation in ETH from the platform. Wonder what is that a signal for a strong alt season? Is that a good signal there? Maybe it's just alt season. Depositing BTC and withdrawing ETH. I wonder what their plan is. What are you doing, BlackRock? From Rafael Cardenas, we just shipped a new version of the Stacks API with a very cool new feature that gives you any Clarity VM error produced by Stacks miners for failed transactions. No more wondering which post condition failed, for example. And then here they have this cool little thing here. You know, it's got some code. This is some Clarity code here. Very based. Thank you, Raphael. From Well Insider, just in, Kazakhstan's national bank approves launch of crypto cards. I covered this. And big shout out to the BitFlow guys. Follow BitFlow _finance to stay in the know. the leading DEX aggregator on Stacks. Huge thanks to everyone who joined us at Bitcoin Beach. Unforgettable vibes, fresh connections, and sun-soaked memories, all made possible by you. If you were there, drop your best pics and moments below. Let's relive it together. Big shout out to the guys, Diego and Dylan from Biflo. I see you. You guys know how to throw a wild party. Had a bunch of fun. I'm talking about a load of fun at the party. Rosar was DJing. That shit was based. It was very cool. And this is what I covered earlier. I made a little post about the Stacking DAO activity schedule being available now in the Discord. So get your ass in there. Let's have some fun. I got some based guys in the house tonight. Let's bring our guys on. Let me stop sharing my screen. Da, 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 da. There's GP. We've got Shiflet in the house. We've got Dude and Peace Love Music in the house tonight. Shiflet, what's good, brother?
Hey, I like that coverage of Metaplanet. They're stacking Bitcoin and haven't hit the ATM like MSTR has, so it'll be interesting watching them going forward. However, MSTR is switching up their strategy. They're tapping their preferred stocks, so the ones that yield 8%, 10%, instead of diluting their common stock, they've been starting to tap the ATM on their preferred stock. So it'll be interesting to see how much Bitcoin per share MSTR racks up before they tap the ATM again going forward.
Damn Skippy, man. I wonder what BlackRock is doing right now. They are depositing BTC to Coinbase while withdrawing ETH. Does it sound like a strong altcoin signal?
You're witnessing their ETF flows. So BlackRock acquiring and selling is just according to their spot ETF inflows and outflows.
So that's what that is. Okay. So like I was curious. I mean, it's like, hey, are they going to deploy the ETH into DeFi, or like, don't they know that there's a more viable, secure option that's cheaper? STX.
yeah, they're just going with the schedule of their ETF. So by close of business, they typically have all of the Bitcoin and ETH moved according to the either the upward volatility or the downward volatility of the ETF.
Yeah, dude. Sounds like you got home safely. How was your flight out to the homestead?
Yeah, it was good. I'm here with my girls. My youngest is watching YouTube and she's shushing me in the background. But no, it feels good to be back with the fam. Flight was nice and smooth. I'm already booked for next year. Really looking forward to that. It should be an interesting time of the year because I'm personally speculating on a top late this year. So it'll be interesting, the vibes. It potentially fresh into a bear market in April of 2026.
Yeah, cool, dude.
Probably be a lot of denial still.
I think so, but I mean, it's all about accumulation. It's enjoy the discount, especially if it's an asset that you believe in, whether you're saving or you're speculating, meaning saving in Bitcoin or speculating in anything other than Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think that it'll be very interesting point that you made there, going into like a bear cycle, and then in April maybe it'll be a different vibe. I think that we'll probably still see growth. It was record numbers out there this year. It's back in Vegas again. It's going to be round 2 again, and I hope that the rest of the guys get to make it because it was a good time, right, Peace?
Oh, it was an amazing time. For real. Like, dude, you got to make it out next time, man.
Yeah. Did you
hanging with these guys was a great time. And it was work.
Yeah, just keep rubbing it in.
Sorry, man. I want to encourage you to be there next time because
I would have gave if I could have. It was bad timing.
Yeah,
the in-real life experiences are what makes these conferences priceless. Like, I really enjoyed spending time with y'all this last week.
Me too, dude.
Yeah, it made the whole thing that much better to be working on, being with a bunch of good guys.
Dude, we were hustling. I would put our squad up there with the best of them. Seriously, like with our squad between Schiff, Me, you, Jack, Ace, Mark.
It was our Schiff. We got to meet Nobody Famous.
Yep, she's out there.
We met like so many Stacks people too. It was awesome. It was awesome. Highly encourage, if you can make it to one, do so. You won't regret it.
Yeah, I
And
feel
hopefully
like
you grab the free tickets during the 48-hour promotion.
yeah, that was some alpha. That was some sharp alpha shift. Like shift comes through and is like, hey, dude, you might want to sign up for next year while you're at it, and go ahead and get your free tickets. And we got free general admission to the conference. Like, who knows if we'll need it?
We're gonna have press passes anyway.
Right.
There's
But
no
that allows us to do possibly.
We'll absolutely have. We had press passes this year. You know, we're gonna be. We'll definitely have press passes next year. So we'll have general passes to give away potentially.
Yeah, we were balling with those press passes too. Able to get in on industry day.
Right, Jack got blocked. I didn't even know. I didn't even see them stop him. I walked in, all of a
Rolling
sudden,
around, showing the badge, showing the badge, showing the badge.
So, yeah, I was flexing on it.
wasn't even like that. I'm just walking in, and all of a sudden, I think it was you two, right? Was it you and was it Schiff? Was it you and GP? We had gotten in. Who was with
So I got in with Mark, and it was like an experiment. Mark just tried his press pass on Industry Day, and they let him in.
Yeah.
And then he shot it to the group chat like, "Hey, green light on press passes for Industry Day." So it all worked out.
Yeah, but Jack got stopped trying to get in because he just had a general admission pass. So we got to make sure that we get everyone that's coming with DeOrganized or affiliated with DeOrganized. We need to know several months in advance who's going to make it to DeOrganized house. We'll have it planned out. We'll know in advance, and we'll make sure that everyone that's with us has a green ticket. We got one. I don't know how he did it, but Rosar got one of our extra tickets.
Well, we know how it happened. Is like you used my name right twice, and then he walked up to the lady and said, "Hey, Kevin Baker couldn't make it." Like, so,
He literally said, "Oh, Kevin wasn't here, so you put my name on there," and so he's got one that has his name. And then Ace actually used one of the extra ones too, and they let him in, and he's got the only one that says DeOrganized Media on it. Mine just says my name. His says, I don't know if it says Chad Stacks or his actual name, but it said DeOrganized Media underneath. So he's got the only actual DeOrganized Media credentials.
oh, that's a good memorabilia piece there, man. The first time DeOrganized was at the Bitcoin conference.
Also, you know how remember how he had been rocking the Zero Authority shirt, and then we realized it had a Rue badge?
Yeah, dude is lucky, right? Like,
Well, apparently there's a DeOrganized Media one too that Hunter made and it's like snuck in there. He had told Zero, I guess, about them, but Diego didn't know. So somebody out there has the DeOrganized Media one.
dude, that would have been a good keepsake. I hope they're rocking it well. Yeah, a Ruin and big shout out to 300, man. Like putting those together and designing and getting that together, man. For out here at the Bitcoin conference.
Super cool. Wish I could have snagged one of them.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I have one, and I'll save it for you, and I'll give it to you when we meet in real life. But you got to come to the next conference or something. Eventually, we'll get you.
Deal.
But what the hell? Oh, he had them delivered from Zimbabwe directly to the Mike Tyson mansion too. They arrived that morning at the mansion. Diego said,
What a Chad, bro.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, amazing. Like it couldn't have been closer.
Damn, dude, what a Chad. I know he was watching his phone like, when is it going to be delivered? When is it going to be delivered? You know, that Mike Tyson Tiger Mansion, just FYI, next year there's a rumor flying around that DeOrganized House is going to take place in the Tiger Mansion. Don't know how true it is, but I can speak it into existence, right? So we're going to have
Hopefully it's a hell of a bull run.
I don't. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we're all flying in on PJs too.
It might be hard to get to the. It might be hard to get to the conference if we're rocking the mansion.
Yeah, dude, we might just stay at the mansion the
I'll
whole time.
definitely go in the pool at that point.
Hell yeah, dude.
Spend some time in the pool. Probably have some parties, like legit parties too.
Yeah, that pool was something. It was a spectacle. It had like these rocks that were surrounding it, and then it had like a
There was a water slide.
yeah, it had a water slide. You walk up it, and like you could check it out. It was very very cool. I didn't see anybody go down the slide though.
I didn't either.
They're too too busy having fun, too busy partying.
We might not have noticed too, though.
True.
Because there were some people there with kids and stuff too. I can't imagine the kids didn't go down the slide.
And then you walk up those stairs, and there's a spiral staircase on either. Oh no, one side is a spiral staircase, and on the back side it had a regular staircase. You walk up that staircase all the way to the top, and it has these two huge murals that just kind of wrap around this room of all the different.
I never went. I didn't go upstairs at the mansion.
It was cool. It was a cool little site. Yeah, it's just like a big mural.
I just still don't know what the hell you said to that guy that made him close down the party, man.
I don't know, man. He saw my
That's
face.
wild.
He must have been at Bitcoin Beach earlier in the day, saw how hard me and Rosar were raging, and then was like, dude, these
Like,
guys.
no, we can't keep. We don't need. That's too much energy. That's what it was.
You probably told him he wasn't natural, and he got mad because he was trying to
he's not
say
natty.
he was natural.
That's what it was. I said, you're not natty. You're not natty, bro. And he was like, shut it down. Shut it down. Because he was like he's a diesel looking white dude with like tattoos up the neck, on the head. Like he's like, shut it down.
A dude in his 40s, 260 pounds and lean, like
giant dude. He was a hot dog. I don't know if that's what they call lean dudes, but he was a beast. And he shut the party down with the quickness. So
It's all game over.
we got to talk about SIP 31 yesterday on the morning show with Alex Miller from Hero Systems. And I'm seeing a lot of people like making suggestions about what to do as far as, what securing funds for the new SIP. And then Ian chimes in, big shout out to Ian from Rue. With this based take, I don't know much about the mining side of things, but tell me how much this makes sense. So GM to my dear Stacks folks, 2 suggestions come to mind on General Order 31, which means, SIP 31. Use the Bitcoin from the mining rather than increase emissions, make the miners pay their share rather than a dilution. And then the second part is easy to agree with. Propose a budget and code the budget into a contract, locking the funds up front with a set group of people to work as validators of the milestone/delivery. Trying to figure out how this would work with the Bitcoin, using the Bitcoin for mining rather than increasing emissions. Does anybody have a take on Ian's take?
So, essentially, the way Stacks is mined is through proof of transfer, which is sending Bitcoin and receiving Stacks. So, what he's suggesting is increasing the amount of Bitcoin that would be required in order to get the same amount of Stacks. The problem with that is if you increase the
you're disincentivizing miners on the network.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're making it more expensive for them to mine the same Stacks, especially as Bitcoin is increasing in price and Stacks has been sitting below $1, that may turn off the people that are mining it. To be honest, I think the dilution is okay, but we need insurances that it's a one-time thing. Because if people are attracted to Stacks because of the scarcity, they may be okay with one dilution, but if it's going to be repeated dilutions, then people may question the true meaning of a max supply when they're making an allocation.
Yeah, there needs to be basically a cutoff block in terms of where they're no longer subsidized, basically, because otherwise it's just a never-ending blank check, right?
It's like buying MSTR. You buy MSTR as a proxy to Bitcoin, but if they keep printing shares, Well, when Bitcoin goes back to the all-time high and MSTR hasn't reached the all-time high again, then it kind of it undermines the asset that you're holding. So stacks could potentially fall victim to that if they continue to dilute. Then the people who got in really early, you know, they bought it a different. They bought their percentage of the entire supply when the supply was different, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dilutions later. So hopefully this dilution is a one-time thing, and hopefully we get assurances with that respect, because I know Stacks' scarcity is what draws people to it as far as an altcoin and a layer 2 to Bitcoin.
Yeah, that and the native BTC yield that they can get from stacking it and stuff.
Absolutely, and since the Bitcoin yield is based on the relationship of Stacks' price to Bitcoin's price, if you're constantly getting diluted, that means you're getting less and less Bitcoin for the stacks that you have locked up. So that could potentially impact that value model and that yield model. Sure, you're getting Bitcoin, but if your stacks are getting diluted, that means you're getting less and less Bitcoin over time. So hopefully this is a one-time supply increase. So that way stacks can keep winning as far as the scarcity attribute that a lot of people value as far as the token goes.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different concerns being raised as far as the governance and how the governance will go on something like this as well. We're gonna have like 4 seats for what they termed legacy companies, or like Trust Machines, Stacks Foundation. So there'll be 4 seats for them, and then a few more seats for the community. I'm curious about how the selection process will go for that. So that's been some things that I've seen discussed. I feel like there's like a 50-50 sentiment on SIP 31 right now.
Yeah, I mean the way I look at it, it's like a startup going on Shark Tank. A startup can only do so much without getting the big players in. So they talk to Kevin O'Leary or they talk to Mark Cuban and says, okay, well, I'll give you 20% equity in exchange for this amount of dollars, and they're going to help me get my project going and make it really huge. That's great if you can do that as a one-time deal. You can get a partner like Kevin O'Leary or Mark Cuban on Shark Tank, and your business blows up and does really, really well. But that initial thing was giving up that equity. The same thing is occurring as a metaphor with stacks potentially. We're diluting tokens a little bit in order to incentivize really big scaling activities on stacks to get it out there. As long as we're giving up that equity one time instead of giving up equity a bunch of times, because if you give up equity a bunch of times, then you're undermining the people that were here early.
Yeah, I had some questions. I have some questions. So like, there's 100 million stacks being minted, but I also saw that it was mentioned in the SIP proposal, the draft. 300 million was somewhere in there. Like I saw that.
It's actually right. So what they're doing is they're minting an initial 100 million.
Okay.
And then they're increasing the emissions schedule for the next 5 years. That'll actually generate an extra 400 million. So it's a total of 500 million stacks that they're using to establish the endowment. And it's split up in different directions, kind of. There's the creation of an entity that they're calling Stacks Labs, which they've already coordinated with Sam to use the name, assuming they can get it unbanned on X. And that entity is going to kind of be a hub for developer function, creation of developer tooling, coordinating safety, establishing safety, standardization, and that kind of thing. And bootstrapping funding for DeFi, providing liquidity for DEX 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 launches. So like if Alex or Villar get listed on an exchange and they need some bootstrap liquidity of stacks or something to provide liquidity for the DEX to get the listing, this entity might help with that because it's good for the ecosystem, and that would make sense. I don't think I agree with the assessment that the community is 50-50 on it. I think the overwhelming majority of people want to see this happen one way or another. But there are a lot of concerns. It's a big undertaking. It's a big thing that's happening. It's a significant dilution of the token supply. And people want to make sure that it's decentralized, that there is legitimate governance, and that there is money that is going towards funding the community and community-based projects. People are specifically focusing on the D Grants project because it was so successful and touched so many people. I believe that the core entities are aware and attuned to this and interested in facilitating this in that direction. I don't know that. I think the governance piece is essentially tied to the same governance of a SIP proposal, where it's encoded into the protocol. You ultimately have to go through the processes. It has to go through the cabs before it can go to a vote, and then it goes to a vote, and the ecosystem either accepts it or rejects it, how it's presented. I think that this would ultimately pass no matter how it's presented because of what it ultimately means for the next step up from the ecosystem. And I really don't think that most of the people involved would be that opposed to the dilution because they understand that $500 million, assuming it, only a moderate increase in price from where we are right now, that $500 million spent even half the right way would have a bigger effect than the dilution on price appreciation, in my opinion. Plus,
I agree with you. And I think Jack had a really good saying. Like, it's like, would you rather have 1,000 tokens at 80 cents or 800 at $8? Hey, girls, I need to walk away from y'all for a minute. But so with I just hope they don't get addicted to the dilution option. Because
if they have hold on,
humans are inherently flawed.
You're right, but
So I want this to have a clear mission, and I want it to execute as they say it's going to be, right. And not revisit it 5 years down the road and be like, okay, we're going to dilute again.
Well, they would have to pass a SIP. They would have to pass a SIP to dilute again, and it actually does. It's indicated in there that like the community could propose SIPs for changing personnel, changing the structure of the endowment, or whatever, and if there was support for that, that could be that would be the way to provide that check on it. If they're not doing their job right to the same end, if they do this and they suddenly need another $500 million or whatever to like in 5 years from now, I don't think I would accept that because why would we accept that at that point? They would have failed at that attempt that they already had. The opportunity was there and they didn't take advantage of it. Further dilution is not going to help.
So that's exactly my point. Like I'm naturally like a really long-term thinker. So yeah, in the present, the dilution is going to really help us. But yeah, like I just really don't want a future one. But I don't think a future one will be necessary as long as they execute properly, which I think they will. Right. I mean, like Solana came online as like a heavily VC funded thing, and all the VCs dumped on retail in 2021. And I think the majority of VCs are out as opposed to 2021. So, like it goes to show what I'm not saying we're about to get VC pumped or anything like that, but it just goes to show that bringing in outsiders to stacks and also incentivizing builders with the right kind of prize pools and things like that to get like really good quality work done on the ecosystem and getting that outreach going. It's really going to do really well for stacks, and
Exactly.
1.3 billion dollars as a market cap is going to be a distant memory.
Yeah, right. I'm confident in the people that have been working on this and proposing this, that they're talented, that they are motivated to do this for the right reasons. There is an intent to be inclusive. I think that there's a little bit of the community shouldn't have to trust that. They should be able to verify that. And I'm not sure how we can build that mechanism in, or if we can.
I think it'll be proof by receipts, and Stacks has done really well by having receipts. It's not about what we're about to do. It's look at what we've done,
Right.
and also at the speakeasy, the conversation that I won't share here, but the conversation that I had and the demeanor in which the person had that I was speaking to makes me completely confident that Stacks is going to go where we want it to go. Just because of
they're not,
the normal demeanor you get is very professional, things like that. But like the demeanor I got was like,
excited.
Yeah, you better buckle up. We're going to go.
Crypto Dude, what's your take on SIP 31? I want to hear a little bit from you.
I just want it to most definitely not be a perpetual thing. Like, Shiflet's saying we need it to be, temporary. The amount most definitely seems a little extreme. Especially given the lack of details on how it'd be spent. That's like a big ass amount, right, in terms of dilution. So I would most definitely need more details to have a good opinion on it. But the overall idea is good in terms of helping to move this to the next level of, awareness, because Stacks has most definitely suffered from marketing issues. Like, we've always been builders first, so.
Yeah, I think that, that's one thing. Stacks has really never had a war chest. And you think about other Bitcoin layer 2s, they're launched with the war chest, right? So it's like one of those things that makes me feel like, okay, look at what everybody has built in the Stacks ecosystem with an authentic community and everything going on. It's more sound technology than it was a year ago. So like if your bet is Stacks, then it makes sense to do it. It's been quote what was it termed, like it was historically underfunded. That's a way to fix it. And if you were bullish on the Stacks roadmap, this is how to implement it in a fast track. This is how you get it done the quickest way, the most sound and efficient way, is through the SIP. So I'm pro SIP 31. I just
I'm pro the idea and the spirit of it for sure. I want more details though before I give it my full endorsement. Really.
Gotcha. And it looks like Wagme came through and said Alex Miller from Hero Systems said, God bless you, my friend. Alex said that he would be getting a V2 out tonight or tomorrow, I believe. Will be good to see what's
changed. Probably is what he's
changed. Let's see what's changed. That makes sense.
We're gonna see what's Chan.
See what's Chan. Why don't you see what's Chan, dude? See what's Chan. So yeah, I feel optimistic, and I do agree. Like 50-50 was probably a little harsh as like I just came out of my mouth, but I've seen more good and pro SIP 31 people than negative SIP 31. So it's good. It's the right direction. I do believe that like they had a little infographic on that proposal, the draft to the proposal, that 31% of the funds would go towards like DeFi, 10% would be going towards like paying people to run this, and like it seemed like the breakdown was, I don't know. Let me try to find it real quick and pull up the infographic, because that was interesting to look at as well as how they kind of roughly dissected what they were going to be spending the funds on. Let's see if I can find it real quick. And my screen share, because I covered the SIP in the Stacking DAO screen share earlier today. We do that weekly. Yeah, here we go. I found it. Boom. Go to my window here. So this is the breakdown of how they initially intended to allocate the funds. So 30% or 31% going to bootstrapping network, 12% going to engineering and security, 10% to operations and staff, 20% to growth and marketing, and 27% at working capital. Yeah, I think that the growth in marketing is something that'll really help our ecosystem. We don't have KOLs. We don't have, a really like a marketing team. So I think that would be really good. Initiatives for core users was in there somewhere as well as like new initiatives for new builders to come build within our ecosystem, which is historically taken care of by the ecosystem that you're building on. So now we'll have some of those types of incentives. Yeah, there's a lot more good in this SIP, and I do agree that maybe some more clarity on what's going on would be good. And then seeing that new initiatives for new builders lining up with the WASM upgrade for Stacks as well. Kind of a couple different incentives there. You can now you'll be able to come code in your native coding language whenever that WASM compiler is upgraded on the network. And now you'll have like some incentives to come build here. So really bullish. I feel like it's a good direction, and I'm interested in seeing where it goes as well. Feel like Stacks had a nice little pump this morning during the day. Up like almost 4% on the day. What were you saying, Crypto Dude? Sorry.
I was going to say the breakdown on terms of how they've categorized it seems relatively good. I would like to see more details of what they mean by those, because those are somewhat vague on a couple of those, right? But I'm sure they have those details. The main concern for me is like what Shiflet was saying, though, the perpetualness versus just a one time, so to speak. What he's saying, or within a certain time frame. That makes like for a certain block length of reward yields.
What's really encouraging is seeing Alex Miller kind of hosting like a weekly show now, coming on the show, the morning show, to talk with us. Plans on being there with the Stacks, like some of the people from the core entities in Stacks for the SIP call this week on Friday around like 11. It's at 11:30, isn't it? Or is it at 11? That SIP call.
Is there any plans for him to be on the nightly as well?
I would love to have him on the nightly. I don't know.
The SIP call is at 10:30. I believe the SIP call is at 10:30 on Friday.
10:30. That's right. Thank you.
Jack made the comment that he sounded like me. He was like, Shiflet, I thought you were on this call.
He's a very easy person to talk to. He seemed very open from the conversation. I was just kind of sitting back and listening and kind of taking notes, and seemed like he's a very open person, very open to criticism, constructive criticism, and that was good. That was very encouraging to see kind of his style as a person outside of the courtroom, because all I've really seen from him is the the video from whenever he was testifying in Congress, right? To see him as a person and kind of see that he's getting more involved. Also, codenamed Satoshi was talking to him, and they were collaborating on how to edit this draft of the SIP. So it's really good to see him get involved on a core level and kind of address some of the community's concerns.
From what you observed, was there a lot of people bringing up scarcity? Because that's the biggest one that I could see people having reservations about the SIP for is strictly scarcity and dilution.
So I saw some scarcity. I saw some people that were like, this is not Satoshi's vision. Like, right, like decentralization is the vision, and this can be a little bit centralized. I'm not calling it completely centralized, but like I can see why somebody would make that point, right? So
Satoshi's vision was a layer 2 could exist that's totally separate from Bitcoin. So as long as Bitcoin is decentralized, you know, you want your savings to be decentralized. But, you know, there's not going to ever be a layer 2 or an altcoin that is as decentralized as Bitcoin. So that's setting a pretty high standard. So I think you know, stacks can be as decentralized as people can get, and a little bit of centralization is okay, because at the end of the day, you know, it's not Bitcoin. It's not trying to do what Bitcoin does. Bitcoin simply secures what happens on stacks.
I like that take. It's a good take. I feel like there's a lot of people just kind of wanting, like you said, more clarity surrounding the SIP, and of course, like Ian has proposed that, like, hey, hard coding what is done with the funds, and you know, people are just looking for a more clear stacks improvement proposal, like where exactly is the funds going to be allocated. I like that D grants is in the conversation as well. So I think that D grants was a really a widely effective way of funding projects. And look what's come out of D grants, right? You got a lot of like DeOrganized came out of D grants. So I like the idea of some funds or you know, a portion of the allocation, the endowment to go towards D grants. I like that idea.
Yeah, all this reminds me of the what we've been aiming towards with BoostX for the sponsor system, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I really liked about Boost, like the ideas you have around BoostX too. It's like micro payments to fund different initiatives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of those initiatives could be, you know, it could be also D grants. You know, there's could be different D grant style type organizations put on by different people. There could be a competition of D grant entities, so to speak. That's the way it should be approached, really, because it's going to yield the best outcome, right?
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea, like multiple D grants entities, like working to find, you know, talent, builders, you name it. They're looking for it and finding a way to help get hands on. And then, you know, some of it in the SIP was also catered towards go to market for TGEs, etc. How do you guys feel about that?
That's interesting, for sure.
I think so.
I didn't catch the question. I was interacting with my girls. What'd you ask, GP?
So some of the allocations will be going towards getting, you know, different projects ready for go to market, such as TGEs for, you know, say a protocol has been, you know, has already announced that they have a TGE, and you know, this is what the points are towards and stuff. Like maybe a portion of the endowment will be going towards helping them with TGE. I don't know exactly how, so that may be something that we want more clarity on as well.
For sure.
It'll line up the incentives. So if people know what's waiting on the other side of that when they reach a milestone, whether it's development or it's in product delivery or value added, all these different things, you're going to get really, really good quality stuff because the incentives will be aligned. There's a lot of passionate people that work on the Stacks blockchain right now, but the rewards aren't rewarding the passionate builders as much as they could be. So this effort, this SIP, is going to provide those types of rewards, so that way you get people who are incentivized by passion as well as monetary rewards alike to come to the platform and build.
Yeah, finding a way to incentivize people that are already building here is like one of the, I think, like make or break. I feel like people would be really pissed if nothing went to, kind of helping the builders that are building on the ground floor to come up with new innovations. That's something that I want to see is the community builders that are already here that are building products to get some way to be incentivized to stay here.
A lot of it is like helping figure out, how to get your market fit, right? And there is need for that and help, but injecting liquidity or whatever into an organization, into a project, isn't necessarily going to fix the underlying fundamental issues, right? You have to have that market fit, right? And so I think the solution here is, that whatever the endowment winds up divvying out, potentially, it needs to be extremely qualified, because we've seen a lot of money burned in the past. I mean, let's be real. So
yeah, that's a solid take too. I think that you've been here for quite a while building, right? So you've kind of gotten to see a lot of things within the ecosystem and kind of know what to avoid. So we don't want to.
Yeah, we've been 100% self-funded.
Right.
We haven't received any D grants. We haven't received any grants. And it's not that we, for all, like, we just haven't applied for them because the process for them has either been, uncomfortable for us because, the expectations about what are required were a little bit weird, especially when it comes to the KYC stuff. Like, that's the one thing I really have concerns about this endowment. Like, how much of this funding is going to be predicated on KYC, because that's most definitely kind of antithetical to the Bitcoin notion. You don't need to know your customer. The whole point of Bitcoin is to not have to know your customer. The whole point of money is to not have to know your customer.
There's a whole Fourth Amendment issue with KYC being forced upon. They technically can regulate banks and make them do whatever they want to, but essentially they're forcing banks to violate the Fourth Amendment rights of their customers on behalf of the government. And it's
exactly. And then they're strong-armed into doing it.
Right.
So in essence, blockchains obviously can create a countermeasure to that. My main concern though here is favoritism, really. I've seen it happen a lot in the past already. And so, I don't want to see it keep happening, because that's not going to help the bottom line of the network, of the growth of everybody. Like, if the goal is to send it to the moon, then it less favoritism.
Well, favoritism exists in the fiat monetary system. Those who stand to benefit are the closest to the money printer. Those who hold the currency are the ones who are extracted from, while all the people who hold the assets
but that doesn't
get
yield
richer
any
over time.
that doesn't yield any productivity, and hence the value goes down.
Correct.
If we want value to go up, we need productivity and utilization and utility. And so that means integration, which basically means less favoritism based on, rubbing shoulders and smoke-filled rooms, and more based on actual utility.
Yep, I 100% agree. It's about value added, not value extracted.
Bingo.
Yeah, and it's been stated that the community will be kind of like the oversight committee on what happens with the SIP. It's been kind of stated that way before, so I'm curious to how many of those seats, we have a few seats from the community, how those seats will be filled. So I'm looking forward to rereading the V2 of the draft, because it sounds like everybody is pro SIP 31, but still kind of standoffish because like, hey, we're waiting on V2 of the drafted SIP proposal to come out. So like, I can't be mad at that. Like that's a good take. I feel like it's it's needed, and like if we're gonna dilute or increase emissions, right? Then we need to abide by that. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming through. I hope you have a blessed night, brother.
Later.
Good night, fellas.
All right, take care, Steve.
Bright and early. But yeah, we're grinding hard. We're trying to distribute the information in a fair and timely manner with DeOrganized. So I feel like this is a really good way to kind of hash out these talks, these conversations.
Don't kill it.
Live on air with the guys, dissecting everything that's going on, so we can get to the bottom line a lot quicker. So bullish. So Beyond Illusion 333, bullish, and I'd be even more bullish if you had a .btc name. So let's get you Beyond the Illusion .btc, so you can use BoostX and stay in the know. You can interact with the Stacks blockchain directly from X or Discord if you have a .btc name registered on BNS.1. And go download the BoostX app. What you doing? Welcome, Beyond the Illusion. Hope that you're having a blessed night. Fellas, really base takes all around tonight. I really enjoyed kind of discussing the SIP with you guys. We are at that hour mark, so I wanted to ask and see if there's any final thoughts, any closing statements, final frequencies that we want to put out to the ethos. I think we're headed in the right direction. I don't think we have much to worry about, and I think that the core contributors or core devs, whatever you want to call them, core entities, they're listening. And this is one of the things that they're trying to do to address one of the ongoing problems and concerns within the Stacks ecosystem. So I think we're headed in the right direction. Crypto Dude, any final thoughts, any closing statements, final frequencies, shameless shills?
Shameless shills, I'll start with those. Get BoostX from the Chrome store, connected on X, connected on Discord. You can start getting some tips, start catching some space drops, start boosting your favorite content creators, join up on the Stacks ecosystem, basically right here on X, right here on Discord. And then also, I was going to say, we've got a lot of features coming still. We've already got a lot already done, but yeah, as you can see, GP is about to show his boost from earlier. Base news intro. That was sent while he was doing his intro. So, you can stream and get boosted. You can tweet and get boosted. You can get in space drops and get some tokens airdrop to you. Or get in space and get boosted. And we got things coming like quote tweet split transfers. We got a referral system coming for onboarding and helping incentivize onboarding of users. Sponsor system, which I really want to dive into the sponsor system more because we've barely touched that. But essentially, you can imagine as an extension option that you can configure to where you can specify 3, payment addresses or names that you want to also microfund it while you're boosting. You're going to basically always pay a service fee to the BoostX platform, right? That's 0.1 STX. Well, you can control up to 50% of that basically through the referral system and through the sponsor system. And, I guess you can control 40% of it technically. And then 10% of it you just benefit from because you're also automatically enrolled into crypto cash mining. So the goal here is to give you kind of a means to signal passively which projects you believe in, and then those projects and or individuals can receive those microfunds and maybe in return divvy out some NFTs to you, whatever the case may be, whatever the arrangement that they may have for that expectation that they've communicated out to the community. It's obviously all on chain, so they'll be able to parse out all the users. Oh, wait, let's get blasted by that. Heck yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. So as you can see, that we got Discord integration. You can connect. Like we haven't really touched on also the Signa multi-sig integration. So like people can get down on, you know, growing as a group, spinning as a squad. You know, that like we got also implementations coming for transferring your stack yield via boosting. Instead of just boosting with your principal, you can boost with some yield. You know, we're going to integrate with Friedger's fast pool. So I'm super excited on what we already have and what's coming. You guys should most definitely get Boost X if you don't already have it. Like for sure, get it.
Yeah, get into the know. Definitely follow CryptoDude at CryptoDude_BTC, along with BoostX at BoostX_app. Get into the BoostX Discord. Plenty of awesome incentives for getting in there, including rumbles, giveaways. You know it. Get you some BoostX, baby. Let's go. Yeah, thank you, CryptoDude. I appreciate you, man. I'm a big fan of BoostX, as you know. I was shilling it shamelessly all over the Bitcoin conference. Like, hey, you didn't know that you can interact with the
Yeah,
Stack blockchain.
I wish I could have came out there and shielded it out there so hard. Like, but as just the timing was horrible. But next time for sure, I'm gonna try and make it out there, and you know, I'm gonna hopefully at that time we'll have more awareness, so it'll be kind of be like, you know, more already in other people's mouths and make it a little easier.
Yeah, dude. I think that that is the goal, and I think that you will accomplish your goal. And I really look forward to meeting you in Vegas and doing some some shilling and networking together.
Maybe
Thank
before
you.
then.
Thank you, third, dude.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Shiflet, I'm gonna pass it to you, brother. Any final thoughts, shameless shows, final frequencies that you want to put out to the ethos? You name it, you got it. Floor is yours.
Hey, you know, my criticalness of dilution is because I care about stacks.
That's right.
The best way to see something go off a cliff is by standing by and saying nothing. I think stacks is going to be successful. I think this new SIP is going to be fantastic. I just hope, you know, I hope it's a one-time dilution with the right intent, which I think they will have the right intent, with no more follow-on dilutions thereafter, because when you have control of the money, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So hopefully it's a one-time dilution, and they don't get addicted to the ATM button, because once you have control, it's easy for that to happen.
I love it. We are human at nature, so I get it, man. I get your opinions and concerns, man. And I think they're very valid. So I think that they're listening, they're paying attention to how people feel about it, and let's just deliver. Simple as that. They've delivered on everything else, so I don't have a reason not to believe that they will deliver on this. So thank you, fellas. I hope that you have a very, very blessed night. Like I said, man, like I really appreciate you guys coming through on the fly for the DeOrganized Nightly segment. Time and time again, you guys are base chads. Y'all have a blessed one.
You too. Later.
Later, dude. And this has been another based episode of DeOrganized Nightly. I'm your boy GP with DeOrganized Media. We cover Bitcoin news, world news, the latest SIPs, you name it, we got it. Alpha, fresh and hot off the presses. We don't miss. Follow DeOrganized at DeOrganizedBTC on X. Go to our YouTube channel at DeOrganized Media and subscribe to our channel there to stay in the know. Stay ahead of the curve with DeOrganized. Catch the Let's Go morning show at 8:30 a.m. ET Monday through Friday, along with the DeOrganized Nightly segment at 7 p.m. ET Monday through Friday. Get into the Stacking DAO and Zest Discords to stay in the know. My dog is like playing. Say hello to Bruce. But yeah, you guys have a very, very blessed rest of your night. I'm your boy GP, and I am signing out. I'm going to go get a bite to eat, recharge my batteries, and do it again tomorrow. So you guys have a good one. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.